Since late 2024, I've been helping online personal brands, specifically a lot of fitness coaches, basically grow, make more money, get more leads, get more conversions, take strangers to buyers, build a lot of attention, mainly through Instagram. A lot of fitness coaches are on Instagram, and they either basically run Instagram profile funnels, run email marketing on the back end. There's so many different ways to do it. But there is one way that I would recommend, like any online creator, anyone trying to build a personal brand, that they really need to leverage. Because I want to explain why content is the biggest lever that most personal brands ignore. Because people don't realize actually just how powerful content is. Like, it doesn't matter what funnel that you have. It doesn't matter whether you want to run Instagram and email, or only Instagram, or maybe you just want to run YouTube, or I don't know. There's so many different platforms, and I've seen people do so many different things. There are guys that are just killing it on LinkedIn. But if any personal brand is trying to go, you cannot ignore content. And for any creator, or really any online service business in general, trying to grow a business, have a little workaround whilst trying to completely ignore content, is the biggest trap that people are falling into. Content is the engine behind any online business. Doesn't matter if it's paid content or organic content. Since late 2024, these are the biggest mistakes that I've seen. And every online coach that I've helped says they have a lead problem. Every online coach that I've helped says that they need more leads, more followers. They're not getting enough likes on their posts. They're not getting enough comments. They're not getting enough engagement. And the last thing that they want to hear is that their content is wrong, but that's the truth. Or they're not posting enough. Like, the content is the first thing that you go to every single time. Okay, and when I say content, there's different forms of content. You got video content like this. You could be posting long form videos on YouTube. You could have specifically try and make reels or carousels on Instagram. But emails, that's a written form of content. And what people don't realize is that's how you attract leads. But content is how you turn leads into buyers. Content is how you turn strangers into buyers. People think you need a fancy landing page. People think you need one crazy email that's going to generate $100,000 in a single week. All you need is a consistent content schedule. And because they want to ignore content, they will go out of their way and spend months and months and months building fancy landing pages, creating or trying to curate a variety of different ads, or just dump all of their money into boosting posts that got a lot of views, and then wonder why they're not getting very good followers, like they're getting rubbish leads in the first place, and then wondering why they're not clicking on their fancy landing page and booking a call with them or watching their VSL. Like, content is the number one thing that you need to dial in to first. Stop getting shitty leads. Secondly, like, you need good content to attract good quality leads, whether it's paid or organic, it does not matter. Paid is predictable though, bear that in mind, but it doesn't matter. And then you need to nurture those leads, you need to warm up those leads, right? And then obviously you've attracted them, you've got good qualified followers. Let's just say, give a scenario. Here's a scenario. You've got good followers, you're warming them up with consistent content that's specifically created to warm them up. You're not just posting any random thing and hoping that people convert. It doesn't work like that. Posting and hoping is not the answer. And then let's say you've warmed them up. Now what? Now they need a bit more, because there's 3 different types of content. You got top of funnel, you got middle of funnel, and you got bottom of funnel. Right? You don't just post anything. You don't just pick up a camera and start chatting loads of shit to the camera in hopes that, someone might buy once they see this. Like, you need to know what you're creating for a start. You need to set the intention of every single content that you create. It doesn't matter if you script it or if you free flow and just have a topic in mind. You need to set the intention with every single piece of content that you create. And if you don't, then you can't expect any predictable outcomes. You can't, you don't have a system. You have a fancy landing page that's doing nothing because no one's going to that landing page. Even if, and I've had this with a past client, even if you dump literally, I've had this, thousands of dollars, and this was not from my advice, this is a client I've had that he's tried to do this on his own. He dumped that, and this guy wasn't earning crazy money. He dumped $2,000 into like 3 random boosted posts that he thought was going to generate loads of customers. And all he done was lost $2,000. He didn't generate anyone. He literally generated no one that was interested. Like, it was the worst posts that you could have put money behind, because he doesn't understand content. He doesn't understand the 3 different types of content. If he understood the 3 different layers, then he wouldn't have done that. Like, because once I realized, like, the money he was, like, the types of content he put money behind, I was not surprised. It doesn't matter if you throw $2,000. It wouldn't matter if he even threw $20,000 into those ads. He would not have had a return on his ad spend. He would not have profited. He would not have made not a dollar of profit out of that. It would only have been a loss because the content that he thought was good, because it got more views than the rest of his content, it means nothing, because that content did not specifically talk to the type of person that he is, like, that's his ideal customer. This is the problem. And he had a fancy landing page. And one of the things I done was improve that landing page and actually made it much less fancy so that it converts. You don't, like, fancy landing pages actually really do reduce, it depends, obviously, but it was a borderline website. Websites don't convert, right? Yeah, but this is a big thing. This is a big problem that a lot of online personal brands coaches, this is what they do. They create loads of content. They don't know what content. They decide they're going to run ads because loads of people, like marketers, are online saying, yeah, run ads, you'll get a return on your investment. They throw loads of money behind the wrong piece of content and don't profit, and then complain that ads don't work when they do. Their content doesn't work, but they don't understand content. And this is the thing. It's a constant loop. It's a cycle, because people don't understand content and they don't know what to do. They think they need a better landing page. They think that they need a new headline on their landing page to speak to the very specific person, and that's what's going to get them to buy. Let's split test this headline every 2 days. Change up the headline every 2 days. Business owners are wasting energy on, like, the tiniest little things. If they just understood the foundation of online marketing, like, it seems like a lot of, like, brands don't have, like, even the most general knowledge. Like, you just need a bird's eye overview, just a general understanding of marketing. But no, 99% of online personal brands, they don't have that. Because they don't have that, this is where all the problems crop up. And if they're constantly trying to do it on their own, and they could try for years. These guys could be trying to do different things for years without ever trying or without ever understanding the most basic concept of marketing. And for online personal brands, guys that I help, it's content. Whether it's an Instagram post or a Facebook post, like a reel, let's just talk Instagram, because that's what I mainly focus on. Instagram reel, Instagram carousel, Instagram story, and then also YouTube video. There's 3 layers of YouTube videos, 3 layers of Instagram. There's like more than 3 layers. There's more layers in email. Email has a lot to it. And then there's obviously paid ads, so running ads. There's layers to ads as well. There's layers to everything. What else? You got communities, like school groups. Some people do like WhatsApp communities, and there's layers to that as well. Content is kind of the engine that feeds everything, right? And another thing, when it comes to content, a lot of guys keep falling into the trap. Like, when people actually decide to start actually trying to understand content, or maybe they get some help, maybe they hire a social media, I don't know, like social media content manager, or there's so many different labels, or some sort of operator. Then they get them to help them with their content, not realizing that they end up falling into the trap of chasing virality. And most people, I think people are slowly starting to understand now, but I really don't know, like, the percentage of how many people understand this. But when you're a business, you don't need to go viral, and most likely you actually probably don't want to go viral. And even if you decide, you know what, yeah, I want to be a big fish in the game, yeah, that's cool, but do you want money? If you haven't got, like, if you trying, what is your main goal? Like, if you had a goal right now, is it to be well known in the space, or is it to make money and maybe you'd like to be well known later? You need to get your priorities on that, because if you don't really know what you're chasing and you get someone in, or you get someone in to help you with your content, before you know it, you go in, like, your content doesn't feel alive. Everything feels misaligned, like you're recording like done for you scripts, or you're getting AI to print a bunch of scripts for you, and then you end up like talking very broadly. Nothing really makes sense. There's no nuance. There's no real depth to your content. And then before you know it, you've gone viral, and you never wanted to go viral in the first place. Now, why is that? Why is it a problem to go viral? Because it's not an issue to go viral, but if you are purposely chasing virality, and whether you know it or not, what I mean by that is, in your content, you're searching up viral hooks, or you're following and trying to replicate what's trending, and like you just hammer it in and basically double down on trying to get more reach, more likes, and before you know it, you're talking very broadly. And then by the end of it, you're no longer speaking to anyone. It's like speaking to the whole planet about topics that no longer make any sense. There's no depth to it. And the issue with this is it doesn't make you money. You're a business. Like, if your goal as a personal brand is to make money, then that's the last thing you want to do. You need to ask yourself, if you're an influencer or a brand who's trying to make money, like an online coach, consultant, service based business, things like that, you need to ask yourself what you are and what your real goal is. Like, why are you posting? You don't have to post. You don't have to be online. You don't have to create any content. So you need to ask yourself, why are you posting? Why are you? Is it to make money? Is it to change your life? Or do you just want to be famous? Like, do you just want some clout? And then ask yourself, well, maybe, the more you think about it, you probably realize that actually viral is not the answer, because going viral generates a lot of low quality leads. Like, I'd say over 90% of the leads that you generate, probably like over 95%, like a crazy high number, will be the lowest quality leads ever. Right. And you get a content manager in, you go viral, and then you do it again and again and again. You're like, holy shit, man, this guy is awesome. Keep going viral. Like 2-3 months later, you're like, yeah, this is cool. We're getting a lot of views and likes and comments, and I'm actually getting fed up of my phone blowing up. These notifications are actually really irritating. But how much money have we made? And it's like, not enough. This wasn't the goal. I want to make money. I want a business. And I feel like my content's no longer aligned. These are the problems that you go through when you're chasing virality and obsessing over vanity metrics, and wondering why no one buys. Because that's literally the game. That is the game of going viral. You just a shit ton of vanity metrics, and no one will buy. That is what going viral does, right? And if you want buyers, not leads, you don't really care about leads. Like, everyone gets leads. Like, the most unknown, most rubbish, honestly, like, in everyone's eyes, if you get a follower, you got a lead. That's literally how people think. Oh, you got a follower, means you got a lead. Yeah, and and right, if you went viral, it's like, bro, we just got you 5,000 followers off this one piece of content. We got you 5,000 leads. Is it a lead? Like, really ask yourself, what is a lead anyway? Is it just a follower? Because if that's the case, I don't want any leads. I want a buyer. It got me 5,000 leads, but not a single buyer. Right? How much time and effort did we have to go through? How many trial reels did we have to post to get 5,000 leads, but not a single buyer? Was it worth it? Right? And this is the difference between influencers and brand. Influencers, they want to go viral. That's their goal. And when you're in a business space, you need to stop looking up to influencers or taking inspiration for content from influencers. Like, you need to stop focusing on them, and you need to actually really begin to learn the types of content. So the 3 layers of content I've been talking about earlier. You got middle funnel. Sorry, let me start at the top. You got top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And I like to think of it as a funnel, or like an upside down triangle. Top, middle, and then the bottom of the triangle. And at the top is where the biggest space is on the triangle. That's kind of like, it's content not to go viral for a business, let me note. Like, if you're a personal brand trying to make more money, it's not to go viral. But the top of the funnel content is to attract. It's to attract real leads, not just any old leads. Not just, oh, you got a follower, you got a lead. None of that bullshit. It's to attract real leads. What is a real lead? A real lead is someone who actually has the potential to convert, right? Now, it's impossible to only attract what is known as qualified followers or qualified leads. It is impossible to attract only qualified leads. You are going to get bad leads no matter if you have the most dialed, like you could literally hire $1 million copywriter to write the most dialed paid ad ever, and it will still attract bad leads. You can't avoid attracting them. Like they will follow you, they will like, they will comment, and there's nothing you can do about it. But you want to decrease the amount of bad leads that you get and increase the amount of qualified leads that you get. And this is the goal as a business owner of top of funnel content. It's attracting it's really squeezing the juice out, get as many qualified leads out of this ad as possible, or out of this YouTube video, or out of this Instagram reel, like whatever you're posting. If your intention is to attract and build more lead flow into your ecosystem, then that is the goal. Like, so with that, you need to be careful with your messaging, what you say, the different hooks, visual, verbal, text hooks, so many different hooks, and then like what Breyer likes to call a super hook, which is getting more known as a super hook now. So like there's 2 hooks to a video. It's the first instant hook that keeps people going, and then there's another hook, so like another reason or a disqualification. And then obviously you got the actual content inside of like the reel or whatever you've created. And this goes for everything. Reels, carousels, even stories. Stories are a fantastic way to convert strangers to buyers and warm them up, and it's the very bottom of the funnel content, which is selling. But before I skip to that, let me talk about middle. So top is to attract. The middle is to nurture. It's value. You know, if you're getting attention, like you're building your audience, people are coming in, well, you need to nurture them, you need to warm them up, you need to educate them. Like you need to help them understand you, your brand, what you do, what you offer. And then obviously you're going to have content pieces all over your funnel, no matter what funnel that you're running. But that's basically what that middle is. It's a lot of education, it's a lot of free value, it's a lot of game, it's a lot of helping them understand you more. And then basically bottom of the funnel is kind of the selling point. It's the stories that you create specifically, like promoting your service or specifically promoting something that gets them into a funnel to eventually basically be warmed up much further and maybe much quicker to sell. Yeah, or something like that, basically showing proof of concept, proof of real results, proof of your own like journey, success stories. There's a ton of different ways to go about it, but these are the 3 layers that really just override everything in the online business space. Content is everything, and this is known as the content flywheel, right? And you know, this is what I helped over like since late 2024. This is what I've been helping people with more, and I've been dialing it in over time, and I've been building my own system over time, and I call it the infinity wheel. But it's basically a content flywheel, and it's a system designed to fuel the funnel, because flywheels boost the efficiency of any funnel. It doesn't matter what funnel you've set up, whether you're running landing pages or not, whether you only have like an Instagram funnel, so everything's running through Instagram only, whether you have a Instagram and a YouTube, whether you have, and it obviously depends on the niche that you're in, like any content platform, like just any content platform. And then emails as well. Highly recommend that, by the way. Emails and long form are 2 killers. They really, they make the funnel work really, really well. But basically the content flywheel is the fuel for the business. It's the fuel for any funnel that you've made, because you could have a VSL funnel and it could be on a landing page. But it's like, how do you get guys to that landing page? And how do you get guys to that landing page to actually stay? Oh no, well, just creating a crazy headline and have some crazy colors popping up and have crazy hooks on the visuals of the YouTube video. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I don't care how fancy and exotic, and I don't care if you spent $10,000 making this website. Some websites, there's some different industries I've worked in where there's one website that I'm helping someone with their content at the moment, where their competitor, the biggest competitor, has literally spent millions. I can't remember. I don't know if it's like 7.8 million. I think it's pounds. So it's probably like close to like $9 million or something like that on this one single website to try and basically try and go overboard, like trying to steal all the competitors. No, that's a big fish in the game. That's a big fish, right? But even then, if they didn't have any content, any ads, and like anything, right, how are they going to fuel that? They need some form of ads. For them, for like website owners that are dealing in different industries like that, it'll be Google ads and Meta ads and YouTube ads and any flipping ads that they can get their hands on, and content running in the background and emails. Like, this is literally the thing, because you got short form. This is the content flywheel. Short form, long form, emails, so written, and then you can have communities as well, right? Basically, they're the main four, really. They're the main four. We like short form, long form, emails, community. That is content. Like, it sounds simple. Well, it's just four things. Yeah, it's just four things. There's a lot of different platforms that you can use or create those pieces of content on. Obviously, emails is emails at the end of the day. But it is those four things that will keep people in, organic and paid. A hybrid content solution really is the best for like online brands, because people will enter your funnel. The algorithm will like generate or push your content more to those people that have entered your follow and followed you or engaged with your pieces of content. Like on Instagram, for example, and they'll see your stories. Then you'll send them to YouTube, and then because they've watched you on YouTube, they'll get recommended more of your YouTube videos when you're posting on YouTube. Oh, and because they've grabbed a lead magnet, they've now signed up, and every time they order a hoodie, they check their inbox to confirm it, or check the checkout date. Oh, and they see your email in their inbox, and they read it, and it takes them back to YouTube, or it actually might take them to their school community, and their school community takes them back to YouTube or Instagram, and then the cycle just keeps on going. And because they're constantly engaging with your content, the algorithms on both or multiple platforms are constantly showing you more of your content, and they can't get away from you. And this is the content flywheel. And this is the problem, because most personal brands are ignoring the content flywheel, and they just want the most dialed in systems. Systems are important. Systems that actually fuel the business on the back end, to actually progress leads through like the buyer journey. There are different ways to skyrocket buyer intent and speed up like conversion from stranger to buyer. I have a YouTube video on that stranger to buyer formula that's worth watching. And at the end of the day, if you ignore content, then don't expect fast, efficient, or mind-blowing results. Because as an online brand, an online creator, coach, consultant, service, whatever you do, your marketing is nothing without content.